I can tell you from the outset that when you deliver babies, you get to the point where you can tell which temperament they're going to be right in the delivery room. And there are basically 9 temperaments, but they're divided into 3 temperaments which move against reality, temperaments which move towards other people, and in this case, the mother, and temperaments which withdraw into the self and are moving away from any kind of stress. So, one of the most important things that happens in the first year is that the baby has to adjust to sometimes getting his needs met, getting food, getting drink, getting changed when wet, or being picked up when the baby needs a sense of comfort from others on the outside. So situations arise in which the mom is simply not there. The middle of the night occurs and baby is hungry. And what does a baby do? I mean, we're not born with a sense of patience, so we must have some kind of reaction to it. And the reaction that occurs, the emotion that occurs when we are deprived of outside help, is what goes into forming what we call object relations triads. Object relations means that we see ourselves as an object relating to another object, in this case, mom. And the third object is a feeling state which we begin to have every time when the same deprivation occurs. In other words, we don't make it up, but we repeat what we do once and then twice and then 3 times and then, unfortunately, for the rest of our lives. So in this case, the object relations that we're going to talk about is the one that pertains to helplessness. And that is, of course, the feeling that we have when nobody is there to change us. Nobody is there to pick us up when we really need some reassurance from the outside world. So an object relations triad is a primitive coping mechanism. It's you do this on a knee-jerk basis whenever you are deprived or feeling helpless. The 3 aspects or the 3 possibilities that entails is that, again, that we can either react by moving against the stress. We can react by moving towards the caregiver, looking for help or support, or we can withdraw into ourselves, realizing that resignation is our only choice. And I can tell you this myself. The story of my own upbringing in the first year of life was that my mom often became anemic, and in those days in the mid-40s, what you did when you were anemic in this situation is that you went to a hospital and had a transfusion. Over a long period of time, you were in hospital for maybe 2 weeks at a time. So what happened when this occurred with my mother is that she called upon her sister to look after me, and her sister had not yet had children and was very nervous about looking after me. And although it's almost impossible to have memories of such a time, I do have a memory of her coming into the room, looking at me, and she couldn't tell whether I was wet, hungry, or what. She would just sort of scuttle outside the room, and I would be left feeling resigned, like nobody will ever look after me, nobody will ever come. And therefore, I developed a resignation object relations triad, okay? Whenever there was no help, I resigned. But of course, that's not what everybody does. We all know the baby that as soon as they're hungry, they go, wah! And we know the other babies that never would do that would only cling on to mom all the tighter when it happens. So what we're going to do today is that we're going to fill out a chart on the wall that gives that you are going to suggest all the possible emotions that go with object relations triads that pertain to each of the segments. And eventually, I'd like you to have the opportunity to think about what your own object relation triad when it comes to helplessness is. So, on with the exercise.